Welcome to this special edition of the DPW podcast, live from the floor at DPW New York, where we've been looking at the world of procurement, technology, and innovation. And I'd like to introduce Mark Raffan, negotiation ninja, with the podcast and an author as well of several books, but a new one out recently, Mark.
Yes, thank you very much. We should start our own show. Two Marks, right? The Two Marks, something like that.
I think we got a new podcast there.
Yeah.
We have to negotiate the whose Mark becomes first before the other Mark.
You can have it. I'm good with
Mark
that. I just want to be an accompanying act more than anything. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, new book's great, man. 9 Secrets to Win Deals and Influence Stakeholders, doing very, very well. A lot of people seem to really like it, which is really great because as like a first-time author, when you write your first book, you're like, well, I don't know if anyone's going to like this. And it turned out that at least the people that didn't like it didn't say that. So that's great. They kept it to themselves.
Excellent. And who's the book for? Is it for everyone? Is it for procurement execs?
Sales and procurement people.
Sales and
procurement.
Yeah. Excellent. And, well, I guess there's a piece of work that came before the book. How did you get to the point of writing the book, and what's the speciality? What is Negotiation Ninja all about?
Yeah, Negotiations Ninja is all about training and coaching procurement and salespeople on how to negotiate, get more value, reduce risk, get better deals in general. We've been at this for almost a decade now, and the book was really just a culmination of the work that we've put into getting to this point. And so felt like the right time. Felt like the right thing to do. Also, like great credibility builder in general. And so from a selfish personal perspective, like awesome business card to have. So that's why we wanted to do it.
Brilliant. And I presume no political ambitions to become the president or anything like that, so, as other people who've written on negotiation in the past?
No, I've got far too many skeletons in my closet to be able to pursue any kind of politics at all. No, that would be the end of me. No, absolutely not.
Excellent. Well, I think I need to. I've got 3 lovely ladies in my life, my wife and my 2 daughters, and they all seem to be negotiating me on a regular basis.
Yes.
Whether it's going out late or buying new things. So I think I might need to dust off my negotiation skills just for the life at home as well.
Yeah, well, listen, I think conflict resolution in general for home life is super, super important, but I can't guarantee that anything in your personal life will change. It might even get worse if you apply the negotiation skills that we teach. But it certainly is. It's never really a bad idea, I guess. Although I can say that I've lost a great deal of negotiations at home. So
I never win. I think I've worked that one out. It's one I don't need to win at home. But
yeah.
I guess the skill of negotiation in the world of procurement has evolved, and this is not always about getting the best price. This is about getting the best value as well.
Always. Yeah. We want to try and make sure that we have holistic deals, right? That pursue all of the value that's included in the deal, and make sure that we're distributing that value properly and well throughout the negotiation. I think far too many of us get myopic on our approach to negotiations because we're so behind. Like every procurement person I speak to, right? Every procurement person I speak to is so behind the 8 ball. There's so many different things going on that they get wrapped up in just renewal chaos. And so they're, price, boom, that's the next thing I'm going to negotiate. Unfortunately, they get stuck in that mindset. They don't approach things strategically. They get lost in the details, and they forget why they're even doing something. And so our approach is trying to be very strategic, to zoom out first, figure out why you're doing something, figure out what it takes to be able to succeed, then figure out the details.
Are you engaging at a company level in terms of upgrading the negotiation skills of a team, or is it down at an individual?
Both. Yeah, usually we get brought in by chief procurement officers or heads of sales to be able to level up the overall skill set. And then we have ongoing advanced coaching that we offer beyond that to the individuals.
And is there a certain mindset, persona that is very good at negotiations, or is it a skill set that anyone can really embrace and become an
Anyone can become good, but there certainly is a predisposition that's really good for it. But it's like this, it's quite counterintuitive because you would assume that if you're a slick talker, a great speaker, you can string really sexy sentences together, then you'd be good at negotiation. The opposite is actually true. It's generally speaking the introvert that's great at negotiation. Generally speaking, the person who's super quiet, who's great at negotiation, because they're good at listening. And so if you're thinking of one, there's no real one characteristic, but if you're going to default to one characteristic, it's usually someone who can stay silent and listen.
Well, I think my two daughters, one's a little bit more quiet, one's a little bit more extrovert. So I'm not sure. I think the younger one's the one who gets the best deal.
Okay.
But I'll see how that...
Is she the extrovert?
She's the extrovert, yeah.
Okay.
Not the
All
introvert.
right. Interesting.
We'll see how that pans out. Maybe it's not the same in procurement. But also, we're in this lovely... what do you call it? Tube in London.
Yeah, subway car.
Here.
I like it. It's very cool. Very apropos.
In the middle of a tech festival, I'd say, of procurement here.
Yeah.
And the theme is putting AI to work. So we're seeing AI coming into all parts of organizations, but procurement obviously has a huge opportunity in there. And we're seeing quite a few tech providers now looking at AI in negotiation. I think it's one of the big ones. I think one company out here has just taken 50 million of funding around kind of negotiation parts.
Yeah.
Do we need to upgrade our skills, or do we just let the agents do the negotiation?
I think for the time being, you need to upgrade your skills. I think there's a big misconception for those of the people that are actually following AI in negotiation, which there's a very small niche of us that's actually interested in this sort of thing. But there's two big parts to AI in negotiation. One is AI assisted negotiation, and then the other is autonomous AI negotiation. You're seeing autonomous AI negotiation happen on a lot of tactical spend. So a lot of materials, even some commodities, a lot of MRO type tail spend, those kinds of things. You're seeing a lot of autonomous negotiation because it's fairly fast moving, fairly tactical. But the assisted AI negotiation is where you're seeing a lot of the indirect stuff happen. So a lot of complex negotiations, a lot of detailed stuff where information isn't readily available. You kind of have to find it out throughout. There are a lot of big research components to it. Now, AI is certainly helping a lot in those, especially around prep, planning, procedure, and it's making your scale up to the negotiation a lot faster, right? So your prep time is cut by, 10 times, which is amazing and incredible. And you can, especially if you're really into it, you can program your own instance or your own local instance of AI to be able to prep your plan how you usually prep your plan so that it's ready to go whenever you want. And it does all the deep research for you. Obviously, you have to check all those things, but you still have to carry out the negotiation.
But can I just go on to ChatGPT, press the agent kind of audio one and start negotiating with the GTP model? Is that the way to use it?
For sure you can. Yeah, there's so many instances where you can use it. So prep and planning is the biggest one that we're seeing. Role playing is huge because you can prompt your agent or your bot, whatever you use, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT or whoever, to be able to negotiate with you. You can give it a persona, you can give it a strategy, you can give it everything that you need to be able to negotiate with you so you can practice really well, and you can also tell it to give you feedback. So if you are good at recording your negotiations and you've recorded something on any note taker app that you might have, you can pump that back into the bot based on the framework and the IP that you ascribe to. You can get feedback from it, which is phenomenal because it picks up on things that you may not necessarily realize that you're doing wrong or that you're doing really well that you need to double down on. And so a lot of the things that we're doing in our training organization right now are all of those things. Prep and planning, we use it a lot for prep and planning. We use it a lot for role playing. We use it a lot for feedback. So highly recommend that people utilize those skills. Now, is there going to be a day where the agent does a very complex negotiation? Sure, I'm sure. I mean, look, based on what I'm saying here, For sure. That's going to happen at some point in time. Is it going to happen yet? I don't know. And so between now and then, you're probably still going to have to level up your skill set, but you're going to have to certainly utilize AI to be able to help you, because those that are utilizing AI are getting significantly greater returns. The interesting thing about this is, anecdotally, we've noticed, we don't have any firm data to be able to back this up, but anecdotally, we've noticed those folks that utilize AI in negotiations, as long as they understand how to negotiate, they've taken some fundamentals training, they have an approach, they have a framework to be able to do it, they're getting better results. But if they don't have that training, they don't have that background, they're actually getting not great results.
Right. So it's how to use the AI in the right
which
way.
is true for everything, right? I mean, and it's true for AI in general. Like if you don't know how to prompt, if you don't know how to structure a question properly, if you don't actually know what information you're trying to understand, the information you're going to get obviously isn't going to be as curated for that as well. In fact, a colleague of mine, Kel Jensen, has some data on utilizing AI and how it changes results. But it's a very interesting field, and we're very bullish on it, right? We think it's great. We think it's a great tool. Obviously, has to be used with caution, and we can get into that conversation if you'd like. But it's almost a must-have at this point in time.
I guess, and I probably should know the different types of bias, but there's a huge amount of bias as individuals, as companies,
sure. Yeah,
as well. Does AI help break down some of the bias of your own
Not
thinking?
if you don't tell it to.
Right.
That's a serious issue, right? So a lot of people, the biggest problem that we see in any kind of analytics going into a negotiation is confirmation bias, right? So confirmation bias is the idea that you already have a thesis, and so you go out and seek information to support that idea. The problem with that is that you're going in already biased. So now I'm prompting the bot to find the information to support my pre-established idea, which now leads me down a path that could be the completely incorrect path. So, but most people don't actually know that they have confirmation bias. So you almost have to have like a really good self-reflection and really good self-awareness to be able to say, okay, I think I'm falling in love with this idea. Hey, bot, I think I'm falling in love with this idea. Be objective for me. This, I think I'm gone too far down. I think I have confirmation bias. Poke holes in my theory. Give me some other perspectives. Gives me some other theories, and use it that way. It's very dangerous. The AI is very dangerous for supporting your pre-established ideas because it's also programmed to be supportive, right? If you've ever used ChatGPT in its native state, it's like, oh yeah, you're the best.
Yeah.
Go get it, and it's not helpful in that way. So you almost have to train it to be more objective so that you can get the information that you need. So yeah, very cautious on how people are using the tool, but it is super helpful.
And your training now is both the skills of negotiation and the use of AI to give a framework to an individual or a team to actually accelerate the improvements around the negotiation and constantly supporting them beyond that as well.
Yeah, exactly. So the framework, fortunately enough for us, our framework is meant to be able to ask those difficult questions of like, why are we even doing this? Which is great. But now training people to ensure that they're staying and using that framework so that they don't get stuck in a rut in terms of the information they're getting back from the bot is equally as important. So we unfortunately we can't launch an entire course on like how to use AI, but we can say, okay, these are the types of questions you should ask. This is why you should remain conscious of your own confirmation bias. This is why you should remain conscious of other types of bias that may be involved. So it is challenging because a lot of people use it and then get the result that they want and then immediately turn around to their leader and say, look at the information I have. And the leader is excited, right? They're like, wow, you turned that around so quickly. That's so amazing. You're the best ever. And then they go and do the negotiation and they get squashed. And what happened? We had all the information. Yeah, but you also had all of the information that supported a pre-existing idea. You didn't think about the unintended consequences or risks that may come from that.
Interesting. I think it's well, the book will open up and give some of the track of how you do this, but I guess
Sure.
it's some engagement with your team as well. And how quickly are individuals and teams, when you engage, starting to see value? I guess it's pretty quickly that they can start seeing the skill set improve.
Huge, yeah. Well, I mean, look, the cool thing about negotiation training in general is that you get ROI immediately if you do the things we tell you to do. But what we're seeing now with the implementation of just very simple prompts inside of the bot of your choice is you just get it way, way faster, because you can scale your prep and planning way, way faster. The unfortunate thing is that there are some very, very, very large organizations that are very anti-AI, which I understand from like a security perspective, especially with what's happening. A judge recently ruled that OpenAI needs to release, or at least hold on to, chats of all of its users and all of those kinds of things. So massive security concerns that a lot of people have, which fair enough, you should have security concerns, but you can deal with that, right? You can have your own local instance.
Yeah.
You can make sure that you turn the chat feature off, the history off, etc. But I don't think it should stop anyone from utilizing it. I mean, look, even us who are bullish on the concept, we are only scratching the surface now. And we're always testing it and playing with it and seeing what happens. So we're quite excited about it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I downloaded the DeepSeek model on my Mac Mini, but I think now they're distilling down smaller models to do certain jobs as well. So we're talking about small, very definitive models that can outperform some of the large models, the commercial ones. So there is the ability to maybe refine and teach.
Look, you're going to get some smart, curious, brand new college grad who's going to come out and completely rewrite the procurement processes of an entire organization in an afternoon. Right. So which way this is going to go is anyone's guess. I have some reservations about where it could go. Certainly there is risk, but I'm more excited than I am risk averse.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be an augmentation of people's skills themselves.
For sure.
That knowledge behind. It's going to be fascinating to see how this progresses. And also it'd be great to speak to some of the people that have gone through this with you as well, because that story in there, because it just seems like a core skill for procurement people to really try and master. So it'd be great to explore. I mean, we should do the Mark and Mark podcast and get the first edition out there.
Hey man, it'd be hot. At least 3 people would listen to it.
If 3 people really like this conversation, then we'll go. I think that's what we need to do. But look, it'd be great to catch up with you end of day 2 tomorrow and see how you've enjoyed the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, hey, great event.
But I'll be reading the book and I'll see how my negotiation skills go after that. I can tell you that I am biased when I'm looking at that new paddle racket. It definitely says, yes, it's time to buy the new paddle racket.
I think you should buy it.
It's 2 or 3 in the house now, so we'll see how I can remove the bias and maybe get a better price next time.
Yeah.
Mark, thank you very much for joining us, and great to catch up with you. And definitely, I'll get a copy of that book and give you my feedback. And I'll probably keep the book away from my kids, because they'll probably use it as a better science than I can.
Probably a good idea. Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the next couple of days.